not in a Hangout on Air, but just a regular old Hangout, not one that's being broadcast. Get used to the environment so you're comfortable in it. Then eventually the technology can disappear, and then you're just focused on your message. So what I've seen is the biggest mistake most frequently is people are stuck on the technology. So that instead of letting the message shine through, they're like, okay, I got to click on this button, and it becomes part of the conversation where it probably doesn't need to be. So that would be point number one. And the other one, which is a dilemma that I see very frequently, is when you're inside of a Hangout on Air and you're the broadcaster, you're the person in charge, or what's called the host, you have the control over the camera. Normally, the discussion, meaning the sound, will change the camera. So you have 3 or 4 people, whoever's talking latest will be on camera, unless the host clicks on their thumbnail, which is called blue boxing. You put a blue box around it. That's fine for you to control it, but the key is sometimes you forget. And that, I would say, is number 2 mistake that I see very frequently, is people have blue boxed somebody else and they forgot to unblue box them by clicking on it again. So in essence,
love that integration that I'm seeing brands and organizations using. What about yourself?
There are some neat things that the Hangout team frequently experiments with, and we see those experiments pop up here and there. There's one called Shop the Hangout, which I think is what you're referring to, where you can actually have some buttons over on the side and see people talking about this neat, wonderful blue shirt, and if you want to get one, go click over there. And then they click the button, and now they're able to add that to a shopping cart. That's phenomenal. The ability to, and then that's not out for everyone yet. They're just playing with it. They're trying to see whether there's real desire to have that kind of thing, which to me is an obvious no-brainer, but that's what they're doing. So they're going in the process of trying certain things out and getting the feedback. Another thing I think that is coming down the pike, and I don't have any inside information on this, so I'm not violating any NDAs by saying it, is I believe the thing that's called Google Glass and its integration with the live Hangout is going to become something that we're going to start to see. So right now, when I go with my mobile device and I'm using that to do broadcasting of a live Hangout on Air, I would imagine in the very near future, if it's not already sort of being tested right now, that you could have the Google Glass, which is basically they look like glasses, but they have a video camera right in them, that you can use that to actually broadcast right into a Hangout. So the idea of having mobile reporters, that you see what they see and you hear them talking about what they're talking about, is just, I think that's the future. So I'm believing and guessing that more and more mobile activity and less, I'm not saying there's going to be less talking heads, but there's going to be more live action that's going on from out in the streets, especially as the mobile networks get a little bit more consistent with their signal, because that's one of the big dilemmas, is how do I get a good signal out there in the real world where I can get a decent signal when I'm inside of a studio environment or in my office, but out in the real world sometimes that signal isn't as consistent, and so that's one of the struggles. But I would think there's going to be more and more mobile activity. So I am excited to see